Okay, let's talk about quantum leaping. This is a series. If you are new here, this is part three of the series. There's a part one and a part two, and it's juicy and delicious, and they do build off of each other. So please make sure that you listen to those two episodes, and we're going to dive into part three, which is what might get in your way when it comes to quantum leaping. I think it's important to plan for obstacles because we're so less dramatic when a kiddo is sick one day, or you're sick, or your task list is overwhelming you, or emails, or whatever, curveball is happening. When we can anticipate things, it can actually take a lot of the stress away because you already have a game plan, right? You're already planned and prepared. And even if you're not for a specific thing, when you strategize about obstacles and solve them before they even happen, even if it specifically wasn't a obstacle that you planned for, you already have the tools of like, okay, I didn't plan for this specific challenge, this obstacle, but it's okay because I know exactly what to do because I already solved other obstacles that may have happened. And then we just go into strategy mode and not dramatic mode, right? I have been on both sides where I'm being dramatic and then I'm being the solution based human, right? And you are human, right? If something is overwhelming you, like witness yourself in the feelings, but I don't want you to stay there because the longer we stay there, we lose control, we lose hope, we lose our mojo, aka momentum, and it makes it harder to get out of it the longer you stay there. It's kind of like when you sit down and like you haven't gotten up in a while and then you get up and you're like, oh my gosh, everything hurts, right? And so we don't want to stay there for a long period of time so you can keep moving forward. A body in motion stays in motion. And yes, I want you to do this with ease, flow, and fun. But a part of that is planning for shit to go down, right? Because life is always going to be happening. So let's like dig into what might get in your way when you are quantum leaping. So the first thing is when you're going for very big goals, it is normal for things to feel like everything is testing you, right? You may get sick. You may have tech that doesn't work. You may have, a client that's unhappy or anything like that. That is the world, the universe, trying to challenge you. And it's not always fun, but knowing that has actually helped me. So when like tech is going, sideways, or some sort of curveball outside of what I can control is happening, I don't take it so personal. I'm like, okay, bring it on. So, before I get too far into the episode, I do want to give a shout out to our podcast episode sponsor, which is my girl, Nicole. She is hands down a true gem. Like, we have gotten closer and closer, and she is your ad strategist. She can help do your ads for you, teach you how to do your own ads, help you be able to charge for doing ads, right? So like there's so many ways that you can work with her, but specifically her zone of genius is creating rock solid ads that help your business grow. Not just from a lead generation standpoint, but also your cash, right? Helping you really be everywhere. So please check out Nicole. She is amazing. She's got lots of different offers, an open book if you just want to talk to her about different things, but make sure you check the show notes for her link to get to know her and see if she would be a good fit for you. So let's get back to it. So what might get in your way? So there is absolutely the more visible things. Kind of think of it like an iceberg. It's like everything above the water is more easy to grasp. So that's like you getting sick, your kid getting sick, your to-do list, your email, right? Your funnel, whatever it may be, right? When you're quantum leaping, there's a lot of tangible things that are easier to see, okay? So we want to plan for those. And then there's the iceberg under the water that is actually so much bigger that people forget about. And this is all the invisible stuff. So this is your self-worth, right? Your love and compassion, right? Or maybe lack thereof, your self-talk, maybe it's positive, maybe it's negative, right? If you have rejection sensitivity, that's a real thing, especially if you have ADHD, right? Our um, any trauma that you have, like there's so much underneath the surface that even when maybe there's no obstacles happening above the surface, right? The visible stuff, we're like, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? Then I want you to look underneath the surface, right? Is there some trauma to heal? Which I know is not always the fun, sexy stuff, but most people have some trauma. Some is easier to like pinpoint, some not so easy, but like there's been so many like resources I've invested in to work and heal trauma. Again, some that I knew was there and some that I didn't know was there, but like once you like open the can of worms, you're like, holy shit, like there's more here than I realized, right? Because our brains love to protect us. So there's so much that can get in your way, right? So it's easy to start with the above surface stuff. Okay, like how are you going to react when tech breaks down? Like maybe your sales page on the day that you launch isn't working. That's happened to me, right? Maybe team is, stressed in their own life, so they're not performing at the level that you need or want them to, or maybe you are the same where you're not performing, right? Like before I had childcare, I felt like that so much. I was like, I am trying so hard and I'm so exhausted, right? So sleep was a big obstacle. And so as we've been preparing for this next launch that we're about to go into, I started to do these things, right? Like look for the challenges, look for the obstacles. I got an office space because I was sitting at home and the dog kept barking and it was driving me up a wall. That's not the only reason, but I invested in an office space so I could have a quiet place that I could focus. And also then when I leave said office space, I'm mom, I'm wife, I'm human being, right? It's so easy to like have our work spill in all areas of our life. And I'm not going to pretend that I never work outside of this office, but it's been severely reduced, right? So I looked at that. I also looked at our sales page and our automations, and we really didn't have a ton. So I'm like, this is slowing us down, right? And so it's really being the CEO before anything actually happens and planning and preparing for it. And a lot of things we can even just make better, right? So an obstacle may be your time, your money, your belief, right? And so I would encourage you to go above the surface first, because like I said, it's just a little bit easier. It's not so emotional when you're looking at sales pages or automation or team or any of those things. Your time, maybe your schedule's all over the place, maybe your house is a mess, right? We can look at the things that are either stressing you out, slowing you down, overwhelming you. Those are obstacles, right? And they absolutely are going to slow you down when it comes to quantum leaping. Almost think of this, and I've used this analogy in the past, like think of this as like you're climbing up a mountain with a backpack on with a bunch of weights in it. You can still climb the mountain. You're going to go a little bit slower. You're going to get really sweaty, right? And you're not going to have as much fun because you're working twice, if not harder, right? Than maybe the other person that doesn't have the backpack on, or it's a lighter backpack. So actually getting the obstacles out of your way are actually going to help you go to any goal, quantum leap to any goal, so much faster with ease, flow, and fun. I'm getting that on a t-shirt and you can pre-buy it. I don't even have, but I like want that because every day that's what I'm asking myself. How can I create more ease in my life and business? How can I have things flow more? And most importantly, how can I have just a ridiculous amount of fun that my haters are annoyed and my like literally my people that are like deep connected in my soul are like, she's just amazing and I love her and I want to be around her, because those people, I equally want to be around them, right? Haters gonna hate. And I don't mean hate in a bad way. We are not on the same frequency, right? And when people are not on the same frequency, they just like keep passing each other and they can't even understand it. And so when we can vibe with people, it's magical, okay? And in order to vibe at a higher frequency, we've got to let go of so much shit. So there's lots of opportunity above the surface. Start there, like I said. And then we do Yes, we do want to go underneath the surface when you are ready. And you're never going to be ready, but when you're ready. And you know what I mean. It's the point where you're like, I don't want to live like this anymore. And I have so many stories for days of this, but you can only take so much as a human, right? And I really do believe that your trauma, any limiting belief, anything underneath the surface that's a little bit more invisible, it is the stuff that weighs you down way more, but we forget about it. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, then there's just like this disconnect. There's this invisible block. And until we understand it, can we truly break through it? So even if you can't see all of the invisible stuff, pick something and we can go with that first, right? So maybe for you, a limiting belief is that you don't have enough time. That's like an easy, safe one that we can work on first, right? If you, that's like a broken record that you keep saying, like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time, right? So if we keep saying that, it's going to keep controlling you, right? So an easy way that we can start with everything underneath the surface is pick a new phrase that you're going to adopt, right? So one of my favorite phrases for I don't have enough time is I have exactly enough time to do the most important things. So even this morning, I made a huge brain dump. Here it is for receipts. I made a huge brain dump on a Post-it, right? A large Post-it note. I keep the Post-it note still small because if I gave like myself a whole piece of paper, I would literally fill it and then be like, I can do all of this. And then by midday, I'm like, no, I can't. You're so mean to me, right? And so I've really worked with myself over the years of like, okay, I'm going to brain dump everything I would love to do, right? But if you can see, I have a few stars on, oh, that's the wrong side. A few stars on the piece of paper if you're watching us on video, or if you're listening on podcast, totally okay. But I picked the few stars. I picked 3 stars at the beginning of the day. There's now 4 because a new one arose. Is that the proper grammar? You know what I'm trying to say. But I picked 3 at the beginning of the day. Those were the 3 most important things. So again, I have enough time to do the most important things. Those are the most important things. And guess what? All 3 of the stars, I didn't even know it when I started this podcast episode. They're all crossed off, and then additional things are crossed off. So this is just so powerful. So I don't overwhelm myself. I don't beat myself up. It's a whole different vibe, which is going to help me operate on a higher frequency, right? Which is so important for ease, flow, and fun. And most importantly, your dream clients, your dream customers, your dream students, your dream friends, whatever it may be that you're desiring, they operate at a high frequency too. So until you're at a high frequency, again, you'll be like ships passing in the middle of the night and you'll not be connecting. Have you ever had like a dream client come in and like it felt like they just like dropped in front of you and you're like, how did this happen? It's because you are working on your frequency more likely than not, right? I really do believe that in my heart of hearts. Like when you work on yourself and you increase your energy, when you increase your frequency, everything changes. This is like the biggest domino effect. We talked about domino effects on the podcast series yesterday, right? And so game changer. Okay. So I want you to go above the surface first and start to work through those things. You'll be here for a while. I don't want you to feel like this is like a one and done thing, but when you can't pinpoint something in your business and you're like, I just feel stuck and you can't pinpoint it, it's something here. Okay. More likely than not, it's above the surface or underneath the surface. Okay. So be here for a while. You're going to start getting momentum, which will feel so incredibly good. And then we'll continue to keep working through these things. This is where so much love and support can come in, whether it's a therapist, a coach, a mentor, a community around you. You can't have enough, I don't think. Like, obviously, I want you to be mindful of what you're investing, but like to tackle all of this, the more support that you can enroll, the better. And this can be friends and family and significant other. Like, it doesn't have to be someone that you necessarily pay, but it is great to get experts. Okay. So I'll see you back on the series tomorrow. I'm so excited. Our membership is opening, and I cannot wait for you just to learn all about it and hop in because I know it's going to change your life. So if you're loving all of this information, you're going to love the membership. All right. Until next time, make it a great day. Love you so much.